I always pick up a rifle when I go hunting for any purpose that I'm going to encounter. And that could be anywhere from 40 or 50 yards up to maybe 500 or 600 yards. And no matter what I'm hunting, whatever it may happen to be, it will be a rifle that has the velocity capabilities, has the proper bullet weight, the proper construction, designed for game. I'll know the trajectory of that rifle. I don't go by BC. I go by real shooting results. Yeah, I look at the BC to see what it is, but at my home range here, shooting as far as I want to shoot, I know where the rifle shoots. Every rifle that I take to the field, I know where it shoots. And this basically gets us into another area here. We are constantly experiencing correspondence from people, and people that have been with other people that have shot or attempted to shoot game at distance with a rifle that they bought somewhere, especially reports from somebody that has bought one of these newfangled scopes that, you know, is going to just do everything for you. Well, they don't. If you bought a rifle from me, if you bought a rifle from whoever it might happen to be, whatever entity, you got a certain scope on it, you have to use your rifle. You just don't pick it up from the shop, wherever you got it from. Like somebody told them, it's good out to 600 yards. A guy that bought a 6.5 PRC from somebody. It would shoot like 3/4 inch groups at 100 yards, but the guy was in a hunting situation where he was shooting out there around 500 to 600 yards somewhere, and he was never touching an animal, and he done this repeatedly, and finally the guide insisted that they take the rifle and they shoot it at several distances and see where it shot. The man never ever shot the rifle. Anyway, the man shooting his 6.5 PRC, he shot it, 4 or 5 antelope over 3 or 4 days, somewhere here in the West. Never touched an antelope, at distances from 400 and some odd yards to about 600 yards. Well, they told him that it was good out to 600 yards. Well, they never ever shot the rifle. But this outfit recommended to him that it was good out to 600 yards. Well, the thing is, the 6.5 PRC, with what ammunition was that he was given and so forth, that still doesn't have the kind of velocity that you need. Under 2,900 feet a second with the loads that, this particular rifle shot. Actually, factory ammunition. Well, anyway, they shot it, for a while at a couple different distances at a target and figured out actually where the rifle was shooting. The rifle was given to him, zeroed at 100 yards, and he was dialing his scope and whatnot. The outfit never shot it. He never shot it at distance. You have to shoot your rifle. I don't care if you bought it from the Whiz Kids, like the Best of the West or the Gunworks outfit. You have to do it yourself. You don't go and pick up a rifle from anybody and go to the field and think that it's just going to do everything for you. It doesn't work like that. You have got to sit down and you've got to shoot. Now this guy finally, after 5 days of antelope hunting, he finally killed an antelope at around 300 yards. And he figured out in all this and doing a little bit of shooting in between that he wasn't going to ever shoot at anything past about 300 yards. he was given very, very poor advice, and these people are always trying to encourage pretty much the impossible. And this is where these things have led to. We've got so much misinformation, and the worst part of it is misinformation from people that are involved selling some of these things and acting like that they know what the story is, what's going on. If they really gave a damn, they would have shot that rifle. Now, I work up loads here, and they're worked up and shot at 100 yards. If you want a rifle shot at further distances, you have to pay. There's no free lunch. There's no free lunch anywhere. It takes time to put up targets. It takes time to load ammunition. It takes time to shoot over probably many different days to shoot at distances and figure these things out. And this is what you have to do yourself. You've got to do all these things yourself. I'm giving you information that you can't get hardly anywhere else from anybody, because they haven't been there, they haven't done it, and they're certainly not going to take the time and so forth, because time is valuable. My time's valuable. I'm glad to do some of these things and some of these instances, but you have to pay to have it done. And I'm giving you information here that you just simply can't go out here and get anywhere else. This is what my YouTube series has been all about, is giving you information that's valuable information. And you're only going to get out of what you put into it. If you don't listen, if you don't pay attention to what I say, and you take on an idea that you know more than somebody that's been doing it for an entire lifetime, you're probably not going to get what you would normally get out of the information. It's put out there. What you do with it is up to you. I have no control over that, what you do with it. This is what just, the feedbacks that I get. I know what's going on out here. I know what's happening. I know why game's being wounded. I know why game's being lost. I've just described the guy that was shooting all over the place. There was people various people watching the guide and somebody else. Well, this guy was shooting an antelope. He wasn't even coming close at these distances to shoot an antelope. Well, after the first time, if I was the guide, I would have taken the guy and set up a target, and we would have figured out what was up. But the thing is, if it would have been with me and I was guiding, he would have shot it before we ever went hunting. This was the standard practice that we had years and years ago. My son, over the years, has done quite a bit of guiding, not as much anymore. He has too many other things to do to take care of his life and take care of a home and all of his animals, his property, and his job. But repeatedly, he brings folks here and we shoot off the bench here and make sure that the rifle's zeroed. He's not going to put in his time and spend this man's money that he's guiding without knowing that the rifle shoots. The rifle has got to shoot, and the man has got to be capable of shooting. And, the thing is, you're only going to get out of it what you put into it. And if you haven't put the time into it, but you have the desire, you have the ability, the financial ability to go somewhere and do something, the best thing for you to do is to shoot, to spend time at the bench, to spend time, in positions and one thing another, different positions, in shooting your rifle under hunting conditions, resting off of your resting off of a day pack and things like that under hunting conditions and so forth. And not using these bipods. These bipods are a tremendous disadvantage because they have an accuracy problem built into it because of the flex of them when the rifle is fired. Everything moves. Everything that I'm giving you here is sound, sage advice that will work if you'll use it. So, anyway, this is what it is.